Hey guys! So it's Loris again, and we are here for another writing tag. And we are doing the writing routines tag, originally created by Write Holly Davis and Emily Bourne. I will link them down below. And yeah, so let's get into this tag. Nobody tagged me. This is just something I had seen on, I think, Holly's channel when it came out, and just thought it would be interesting. Question number one: do you stick to an outline when you draft? No. Well, sort of. So I am a discovery writer. I do like a skeleton-ish outline, but if I'm gonna say I outline, no, I do not, because I don't make them. Question number two: how long do you take to develop characters before drafting? Or do you use the drafting process to get to know your characters? So I don't really do either. So I love world building. I tend to do extensive world building before I start drafting and while I am drafting. And I use the world building to also develop my characters, especially the beginning parts. I consider character development as part of world building. While I'm creating stuff about the world, I'm also creating my characters and fleshing them out because they really should complement each other. At least in my brain, I think so. And then while I'm drafting, being that I am a discovery writer and I do a zero draft, I fluidly also add more to the world. I add more to my characters. So I kind of do both, I guess. Question number three: what gets you in the zone to write? So I don't necessarily have anything in particular that does that. I love I love doing writing sprints. I've learned now I host writing sprints. I also like to write to calming music, but really I've learned as long as there's noise, I can really write to anything. Um, but I definitely bought into the ambient sound kind of writing also. I definitely have some playlists of like water, um, movie sounds. What else do I have? Like holiday music. I definitely have playlists of those of sounds that are that don't have lyrics because I don't like writing to lyrics because it's distracting. Um, but sounds music that I can listen to while I write. Besides that, I don't really have anything else that like puts me in the zone. Like I don't have like smelling a candle or anything like that. Question number four is: what time of day do you write, or do you stick to do you stick to a specific time to write? No, not really. I can write whenever. I do know that I tend to be more creative the moment the sun gets down. The moment it's nighttime or the sun comes down, I somehow have like a creative energy boost and want to do things. Even if I'm tired. Sometimes tired still like wins and I can't do something, but my brain will still want to do something. Um so yeah, when it's dark, I guess. But besides that, no. Question number five: do you always write in the same place or room? And the answer is no to that. Not necessarily. I do generally have areas ish. So the right now within my routine, I write here in my office. I also write at my parents' house at the kitchen table. uh, I write at the doctor's office when my dad's having treatments and at the treatment centers because we're there for many hours. So besides that, not really. I mean, I've written at coffee shops before, in the library, So I can really write anywhere, but right now, given my routine, that tends to be where I write right now. And then ideally, my office is set up for me to be able to write in and be like a comfortable hiding space to be by myself and write. So, question number 6 is, do you listen to music during your writing session? I still have to look at that. Yes, as I said before, I have to have something going on for me to write to. Occasionally, I can write to a video, but it really depends on if I want to pay attention to it, and I will eventually tend to get distracted by a video to a certain degree. So listening to instrumental ambient sounds is much easier for me to do. Question number 7 is, how long is your typical writing sessions? Yeah. And I try, if I'm gonna sit down to write, I try to write at least an hour. I do not write every day because I have to balance out editing and streaming and then writing, filming, being that I'm trying to kind of, again, be like a content creator in general, which I lump in wanting to become a traditionally published author within that lump of being a content creator, because book is a content. So I have to balance everything. But if I'm going to sit down and write, I want to at least write for an hour if I can. I tend to write more during my streams, uh, and I do stream for at least 2 hours. So depending on how many people show up, how much we're talking, we at least write an hour and a half to an hour. So I still keep my hour of writing, because when you get into a discussion, you start talking, and then you realize you've been talking for 15 minutes. Yeah. Question number 8, and I'm gonna have to read this one. Do you read back your work or edit your work before writing the next chapter? I read like a paragraph or so with what I had just wrote so that I remember what I'm doing, but I do not edit back my work or read too far back, because then I'll want to edit. And as I zero draft, it's a mess. And I do this because of my dyslexia and my at and my ease of being self the meaning of my work. If I see a lot of errors, if I see a lot of mistakes, I put that back on me, and in saying that I'm really bad at it and I can't do it and this is horrible, and so on and so forth. So I've learned, in order to do it, I need to just forge on and do the thing. Don't look back. Just keep walking, keep going. Because the moment I look back too far, then I become my enemy then, instead of helping myself. So I don't look back while I'm drafting. That's something to deal with when I edit. Question number 9. What's your average goal for a writing session? Word count, page count, all those counts. And I don't keep track of word counts per session, mostly because I don't like to. Since joining the writing community on YouTube, I feel like it can be very toxic, and I just don't want to fall into that hole. So I don't. Also, I'm really, really bad at remembering where I start. And I know there's tips and tricks to help you do that, but I'm just really bad at it. And I decided that as a sign from the universe to just not do it. I do keep track of my overall word count, like at the end of the month, but that's it. If you want to say I keep track of something, I would say I keep track of the amount of hours I read. I mean, not read, write per session. But besides that, that's really it. I don't keep track of anything else really. So, um, this March will be when I start editing my novel that I finished, and I haven't decided how I'm going to keep track of editing. I'm thinking of maybe by page, and that might be easier, especially because in my chaos of zero drafting, I don't really have chapters. I have suggested chapters in the sense of like, oh, I think a chapter would start here, so let me just write chapter. So I have to fix that when I'm editing. So I think pages might be a better thing because being that I don't outline and it's not in any kind of organized ishness, the chapters are a mess. There is no chapter. There's just suggestions of a chapter. So keeping track per chapter would not work. So probably I'll end up keeping track of pages, which definitely might be easier for me than obviously keeping track of word count, especially when you edit. Editing with word count sounds so much more complicated than just drafting, and I already can't do that. So let's chuck that out the window. But yeah. So we'll see when that happens. I still have like a while to go before March happens. But yeah. So that's it. That is the writing routines tag. And yeah, I'm not going to tag anybody specifically. I also feel like a lot of people have done this tag. But if you haven't and you're watching this, then you're it. I tag you. Go ahead and do this tag. Leave a link for me down below, whether you do a YouTube video or Instagram or a TikTok or put it up on Twitter, or if you just want to write your answers down in the comments below, let me know. What is your writing routine? Because everyone's just slightly different, and it really is interesting to see other people's routines. And yeah, especially as we start a new year, and if your routine didn't work for you last year and you're starting a new one, this would be a really great way to cement a new routine, I feel like. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and learning more about the chaotic process I do of writing, because this is how I choose to share my story and my life and the chaos that is my life. Thank you so much for watching. And if you liked the video, hit like. I'll do more tags. If you're interested in any other of my content, check out the channel. I have playlists and videos galore. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Tell stories and prosper.